Evil West. What exactly is it, and is it worth playing? Hi everyone, I'm Toasty. I stream and showcase a whole range of games to my audience, and I like to give a first honest impression of my time with those titles. First of all, let's cover the basics of the game. Evil West is a beat-em-up action-adventure game that can be played solo or in co-op. With explosive and visceral combat, you were tasked with eradicating the vampiric hordes that plague your world. Armed with a lightning-fueled gauntlet, you will slay your way through levels to upgrade your arsenal and evolve your playstyle through a series of old-school style unlocks. Prepare to show down against evil itself in this thrilling Wild West-inspired vampiric experience. Now that we've established what the game is, here are my impressions of it after completing the main campaign. I will start by mentioning that Evil West has been on my radar for a very long time, and after picking up the game in a recent Humble Monthly, I am extremely glad that I got my hands on it. Straight out of the gate, the visuals of the game are gorgeous. The use of colours and lights painted a wonderful horizon for me to explore in this dark, gritty setting. As I found my way through the tutorial, I began to feel a sense of nostalgia. Evil West reminded me of the first time that I played early 2000s RPGs like Gears of War or Army of Two. The game's combat is pretty straightforward. Throw a bunch of punches at the enemy and beat them to a pulp, or choose from a variety of ranged weapons to shoot your way to victory. The levels are quite small by design and very box-like. Each major stage in a level would feel like you're in an arena. Hordes of enemies will spill out from the sides, and all you need to do is kill them all. The levels themselves are linear by design, with a limited number of paths to take as you explore a new environment, and there are lots of hidden treasures to discover if you follow your nose in the correct direction. There are some nice touches like burning spiderwebs or punching through doors to find hidden unlocks. And while exploring the Wild West, you'll also find gold, which can be used to purchase upgrades for your weaponry. These unlocks add a nice feature like more explosions or adding lightning to your weapons, which enhances the combat as you play. You will also level up and unlock character perks. These are level-bound unlocks and are part of small progressive talent trees, meaning that you can unlock a perk at the start and obtain something later in the end game, which is an evolved variant of the initial upgrade. I personally focused on upgrading my melee ability and the supercharge ultimate, and with each punch that I threw, I felt stronger in game. I could see the improvements of these unlocks. Now let's move on to the game's story. There is a whole roster of memorable characters that you will encounter while playing Evil West, some of which are funny, others are annoying, and some are downright badass. The general storyline is easy to follow and doesn't have too much shock factor. I liked each of the characters in their own quirky ways, and interacting with them always felt special. Between missions, you will encounter the hub. It doesn't offer much in terms of interaction, however you will see the characters wandering around, and there'll be dialogue that relates to which part of the story that you're encountering. There's an overwhelming amount of NPCs that stand around doing nothing, which did make me wonder, what is the point of this part of the game? I wanted to see an NPC vendor that I could maybe buy new things from, or even a mini game like poker and sit down and play with the boys and see if I could earn some extra cash. For such great visual design, the hub lacks anything to do, and you just run through it. This is the one part of the game that I personally wanted to see more of, and it did slightly disappoint me, because you do visit there quite often. Now, the hub is where you will trigger your missions, and the missions are great fun to play. The main structure of them being to visit location, solve small environmental puzzles, and slay waves of enemies, one of which will be a boss towards the end of that level. There are a handful of well-crafted creatures that you will fight against throughout the entire campaign, each monster having its own attack patterns and special unique unique abilities that you'll need to figure out and overcome to defeat them. As I played deeper into the campaign, the creature abilities became more creative, and I found myself being entertained from start to end with all of the combat interactions. If you're an old school gamer from the years of the original Gears of War series, you will love this game for sure. It has an early 2000s charm that feels just right. If you are a young blood, however, that's only ever played current gen games, then you may want to play Evil West to experience a modern graphic take on an old school style of gameplay. I will also mention that I played Evil West solo. However, I'd love to have seen how co-op played. So my recommendation is to bring a friend along for the ride if you want to play this for the first time. Experience the Wild West with vampires together. My overall time with the game was less than 10 hours, and that is completing the main campaign. I enjoyed every moment of Evil West, but I will say it's worth picking up on sale. Full price seems kind of crazy. So, do I recommend playing Evil West? I certainly do, whether you're an old school gamer or not. This game has a straightforward storyline with memorable characters, and the combat is amazingly arcadey, and you can complete the story in less than 10 hours, making it a great pick up and play title. Thanks for watching my thoughts on Evil West. If you want to see my playthrough of the game, there'll be a playlist link in the video description. You can drop a like on this video and subscribe to my channel to help its growth. Have a great day and play more games. I'll see you in the next one.